If you are a widow or a widower, your late spouse's Social Security check may legally be yours instead of the smaller one you're getting right now, and no one at the Social Security Administration is ever going to call and tell you. If you want clear, honest guides on the benefits seniors are owed, subscribe so this channel can find you, then stay right here because this one is money with your name on it. Let me show you what I mean. Picture a woman I'll call Ruth. She's 74. She lost her husband 3 years ago. Every month, like clockwork, her own Social Security check lands in her account about $1,200. She pays her bills, she's careful, she gets by. What Ruth doesn't know is this. Her late husband's check was about $2,100 a month, and as his surviving spouse, she is entitled to step up to the higher of those two amounts. Stop and do that math with me. $2,100 minus $1,200. That's a gap of $900 every single month. More than $10,000 a year quietly left on the table year after year because nobody ever told her she could switch to the bigger check. 3 years. Crossed off a calendar, 1 month at a time. That's over $30,000 that could have been in Ruth's account and wasn't. And here's the part that should make you a little angry the same way it makes me angry. Nobody at the Social Security Administration was ever going to call Ruth and tell her. That's not a mistake somebody made. That's just how the system works. Nobody whose job it is to collect that money will ever pick up the phone and tell you to stop leaving it behind. The telephone on Ruth's kitchen wall simply never rang. If you are widowed or you will be someday, this may be the most important 20 minutes you spend this month. So let me tell you exactly where we're going. I'm going to walk you through 3 things. Who this actually helps, because I promise you it's a wider group than you think. The traps that swallow this money before it ever reaches your account, and the exact phone call that turns money you're entitled to into money in your hand, the office to reach, and the one sentence to say when they pick up. And that last one, the phone call, is the simplest and the highest value step of all. So I've saved it for the end on purpose. If you act on one single thing from all of this, it's that. Stay with me for it. Now, before we go further, I need to knock down 2 ideas because both of them make people count themselves out. Some of you are thinking, well, this is for widows who are really struggling, scraping by on almost nothing. That's not who this is only for. And some of you are thinking the opposite. This is one of those things for well-off folks whose husband had some big fancy check. That's not who this is only for either. Here's the truth. This helps a widow living on a small check, and it helps a widow whose late husband simply had the larger number. It helps both ends. On this one, the only question that matters is which of the 2 checks was bigger, yours or your late spouse's. That's it. So do not count yourself out at your own kitchen table. Stay with me. Because the biggest myth is what costs people the money. Let me tell you who I am, so you know why you should listen. My name is Walter Hayes. For more than 15 years, I've read the fine print of these programs for ordinary families, the paragraphs nobody else reads, the forms nobody mails you, the rules buried 3 pages deep. I don't sell anything. I don't work for the government. I just read the rules so you don't have to. And that's why I have to clear up the biggest myth right now, because this myth is exactly how people get talked out of their own money. You may have heard someone say it. When a spouse dies, Social Security just switches you over to the bigger check automatically. Somebody at the funeral home says it. A neighbor says it. Maybe you've quietly assumed it yourself. It is not true. Survivor benefits are not automatic. Let me say that again, because it's the whole game. They are not automatic. Nobody flips a switch for you. So here's what is true. As a surviving spouse, you do not get both checks. You don't get to add them together. You get the higher of the 2. One check, the bigger one. If your late spouse's benefit was larger than yours, you can step up to roughly their full amount. But, and this is the whole thing, only if you claim it. The higher of the 2 checks, but only if you claim it. Read that again in your head, because those last 4 words are where the money lives or dies. Being eligible and actually getting paid are 2 completely different things. Ruth was eligible the day her husband passed. She had every legal right to that higher check. But eligible sat on a shelf for 3 years, gathering dust, worth exactly nothing because nobody claimed it. Being owed money and having money in your account are not the same. The government does not confuse the 2. Neither should you. Now, you might be wondering if she was entitled to it, and the funeral home already reported the death to Social Security. Why on earth didn't it just happen? Good question. That's exactly the kind of thinking that costs people $10,000 a year. Because here is the first trap. And it's the one that traps almost everyone. When your spouse dies, the funeral home sends a death report to Social Security. That report does one thing. It can stop your late spouse's payments. It shuts off the check that was going to them. But hear this clearly, because it's the single most misunderstood piece of the whole business. That death report does not open your survivor claim. It stops one check. It does not start the other. Those are two completely separate things. One closes a door, the other one never even knocks. And the system will never walk over to your kitchen table and tell you the second thing didn't happen. It just quietly doesn't happen. And the meter keeps running against you. Those are two completely separate things, and the system will never walk over and tell you the second one didn't happen automatically. Let me slow this down, because this is where almost everyone loses the money. When your spouse dies, the funeral home sends a death report to Social Security. That report does a job. It flags the account. It can stop your late spouse's check from going out. That part happens. But it does one thing and one thing only. It closes his account. It does not open yours. It doesn't start your survivor claim. It doesn't switch you to the higher of the two checks. There is no clerk who sees that report and thinks, well, now let's set up the widow with the bigger benefit. That clerk does not exist. Read that again. A death report can stop his check and still never start yours. Being legally entitled and actually getting paid are two completely different things. You can be 100% eligible for a higher check. The rules can be squarely on your side and not one extra dollar shows up. Why? Because you have to file. Nobody files it for you. Go back to Ruth for a second, the widow I told you about. 74 years old. For 3 years, her own check came in every month, right on time, about $1,200. And every month, Ruth looked at that deposit and thought, good, the system handled it, it's coming in. Everything's taken care of. It wasn't. Her late husband's check had been $2,100 a month. As his widow, she was entitled to step up to the higher amount. $900 a month, slipping past her every single month. That's more than $10,000 a year. And she wasn't cheated by anybody in particular. There was no villain. She just assumed the report from the funeral home had done more than it did. The death report stopped his check. It never opened her claim. So that's trap one. Now trap two, and this one's about timing because even once you know you have to file, when you file changes the number. Here's the rule. In plain English, you can claim survivor benefits as early as age 60. If you're disabled, as early as age 50. But, and this matters, claiming early reduces the amount. The full survivor benefit only arrives at your full retirement age. For most folks watching, that's somewhere around 66 or 67, depending on when you were born. So picture the trade-off. Claim at 60, you can start getting money sooner, but it's a permanently smaller check. Not smaller for a year, not smaller until you turn 67. Smaller for the rest of your life. Wait until your full retirement age, and you get the full survivor amount every month for good. Don't let anybody make that choice feel simple, because it isn't. Sometimes taking a smaller check at 60 is exactly the right move. If you need the money now, you need it now. Sometimes waiting is worth thousands over the years. But you can't make that call if nobody ever tells you the two options exist. If you are between 60 and your full retirement age right now, this next part is for you. Do not claim blind. Because here's the strategy most widows and widowers never hear. Are you ready for this one? You may not have to pick just one check forever. You may be able to take one benefit now and switch to the other one later. Let me show you what that means. Say you have your own Social Security retirement benefit, a check based on your own work record, and you have a survivor benefit based on your late spouse's record. You might be able to draw the survivor benefit now while you let your own retirement benefit keep growing all the way up to age 70. Or the reverse. Take your own smaller retirement check now and let the survivor benefit sit until your full retirement age when it's at its highest. Your own retirement benefit grows for every year you wait, up to 70. So there are situations, real ones, where you draw one check for a few years, let the other one fatten up, and then switch to the bigger one. Two separate benefits, and you may not have to choose between them all at once. That's not a loophole. That's not a trick. That's how the rules are written. And almost nobody at your kitchen table knows it's on the table. Say it with me. The higher of the two checks, but only if you claim it. And now you know it's not always just one claim, one time. There can be a sequence. Now, who does all this actually help? Because I know some of you already counted yourself out. Two kinds of people are about to make a mistake. The first thinks this is only for poor widows scraping by. Not true. If your own check is small, if you've been surviving on 1,200 a month, stepping up to your late husband's 2,100 is a raise you desperately need, and it's a raise that was sitting there the whole time. The second thinks, oh, I'm fine, I don't need it. This must be for someone worse off than me. Also not true. Maybe your own check is decent. But if your late husband simply had the bigger number, he worked more years, he earned more, then his check is the higher of the two, and that higher amount is yours to claim. It doesn't matter that you're comfortable, it's money with your name on it. Whether your own check is small or your late husband simply had the bigger number, this is money with your name on it. Do not count yourself out. And let me be fair to the system, because I'm not here to make anybody the bad guy. The intention behind these rules is good. Congress built survivor benefits so a widow or widower wouldn't be left with nothing. The timing options, the ability to switch that flexibility was put there on purpose to help you. The problem isn't the intention. The problem is that the system is not set up to walk over to your house and explain any of it. Nobody calls. Nobody mails you a letter that says, by the way, you could switch to the higher check, and here's how the timing works. You have to ask. If you don't ask, the good intention just sits there, doing nothing for you. So now you understand the two traps. Trap 1, the report that stops his check but never opens your claim. Trap 2, the timing that quietly shrinks the number if you claim blind. Both of those are the reason the money gets left on the table. But here's the good news, and it's the whole reason I asked you to stay. The one I saved for last, the highest value and the simplest thing you can possibly do, is how you actually claim this. You do it by calling. There is no online survivor application, and there is exactly one sentence to say on the phone that starts the whole thing. That sentence is next. The one sentence. Here it is. And this is the item I told you to stay for the highest value and the simplest action of all. There is no online survivor application. You cannot do this from your computer, no matter how much you'd like to. You call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213, or you walk into your local Social Security field office. Those are your two doors. There is no third. And when you get a person on the line, you say plainly, my spouse has died, and I want to apply for survivor benefits. I want to know if I'm entitled to a higher check. That one sentence starts everything. Say Hendo right now in the so it's in your mouth when you dial. Go ahead. My spouse has died, and I want to apply for survivor benefits. That's it. That's the whole key. Not a form number you have to memorize, not a legal term you have to pronounce right. One sentence a grieving person can say on a hard morning. Now, before you pick up the phone, gather 3 things and put them in one folder. The death certificate, both Social Security numbers, yours and your late spouse's, and your marriage certificate. That's what proves you were married to the person whose check you're stepping up to. Death certificate, both Social Security numbers, marriage certificate, 3 pieces of paper. Have them in front of you when you dial, and the call goes fast. So let me add it up. Let me show you what that one phone call is actually worth, because this is the part the title promised you. And I don't ever want to promise you something I can't put in real dollars. Remember, Ruth, our composite widow, 74. Her own check comes in at about $1,200 a month. Her late husband's was $2,100. As his surviving spouse, she doesn't get both. She gets the higher of the two, but only if she claims it. That's a gap of $900 a month. $900 a month. Do the small arithmetic with me. That's over $10,000 a year. Not once. Every single year. For the rest of her life. $10,000 a year that has her name on it, sitting there, waiting for one phone call and one sentence. That is what your late spouse's check may be yours actually means. It isn't a slogan. It's $10,000 landing in a real account month after month from a check that jumps from $1,200 to $2,100 the moment the claim goes through. Remember Ruth? 3 years she's lived on the smaller check. 3 years. Call it more than $30,000 gone by. Quietly. Because nobody at the Social Security Administration was ever going to call her and tell her the switch isn't automatic. One phone call would have ended all 3 years of that smaller check. She didn't know the option existed. Now you do. Now, there's one more thing I have to tell you. Because the moment there's money on the table, the thieves show up. There is a scam that shadows this exact benefit, and I want you to be ready for it. Social Security does not call you out of the blue asking for your bank details. They do not call and ask for your account number to release your survivor check. They do not ask for a fee, a gift card, a wire transfer, nothing to get you the money you're already owed. That is not how the survivor benefit works, and it is never how the government works. So hear me clearly. Whoever calls you like that is a thief, not the government. Stop. Hang up. You go to them, never the other way around. You call 1-800-772-1213. You walk into the office. The real Social Security never reaches into your kitchen and asks for your account number. The direction only ever runs one way, you to them. All right, here's exactly what I want you to do this week. 3 steps. Write them down or just keep them in your head. They're simple on purpose. Step 1, gather the 3 papers. The death certificate, both Social Security numbers, the cards if you have them, and your marriage certificate. Put them in one folder by the phone. If you can't find one, that's fine. Call anyway. They'll tell you what they need. Don't let a missing piece of paper stop you from starting. Step 2, call 1-800-772-1213. Or go into your local field office and say the sentence, "My spouse has died, and I want to apply for survivor benefits. I want to know if I'm entitled to a higher check." That's step 2. That's the whole engine. Step 3, and this is the one most widows and widowers never think to ask. Ask them specifically, can I restrict my claim so one benefit gets paid now while the other one keeps growing? Because depending on your age and your numbers, you may be able to take the survivor benefit now and let your own retirement benefit grow all the way to age 70 or the reverse. That's real money on both ends, but nobody offers it to you. You have to ask for it out loud by name. So ask. And let me be square with you about what this is. This is general education. It is not personal, legal, or tax advice, and I don't work for the government. The rules can vary depending on your situation, your age, your earnings history. So confirm your own case with Social Security directly or with your local SHIP office. That's the free counseling service in every state that helps seniors with exactly this. Confirm your situation with SSA or your SHIP office. Get it in your own numbers, not Ruth's. But don't count yourself out at your own kitchen table before you've even called. Not the widow who's been surviving on a small check for years, this is for you. Not the widow whose late husband simply happened to have the bigger number, this is for you too. The higher of the 2 checks. But only if you claim it. That last part never changes. So here's the truth you can carry out of this. Survivor benefits are not automatic. That death report from the funeral home can stop your late spouse's check, but it never opens your claim. Only you can open it by picking up the phone and saying one sentence. You'll know the number to call, the papers to bring, and the exact words to say. And you'll know that no real agency will ever call you asking for your bank details. And now do one thing for me. Send this to one widow or widower you love who's over 65, because nobody official is going to call and explain this to them. No letter is coming. No agent is walking up their driveway. You might be the only person in their whole life who ever tells them that their late spouse's check may be theirs. So tell them. Hand them the phone across the kitchen table if you have to. Ruth left more than $30,000 on the table because she didn't know the option existed. Now you do, so make sure one more person does too. Take care of yourself. And take care of the people you love.